myself in a while. That's kind of the last thing on my mind right now. As you guys know, in my last video, I had just found out I had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in my lung. It wasn't a huge one. It was rather small and just kind of chilling out. They had put me on Coumadin and Levinox. Levinox is shots that I put in my belly, and then Coumadin's just a pill. Well, I started not feeling really well, and I met with my surgeon that Friday, and I told him, and he said, you know, I want you to focus on your water before anything else, because that's probably why you're feeling how you do. And I was feeling, well, nauseous. I was lightheaded. I was dizzy. It was just getting worse. Well, that Sunday, I was feeling really, really bad. So I got up and I kind of was moving around the house. Oh, sorry. And, you know, I'm just going to hold this. I was moving around a little bit. Then I needed to take a shower. So I got into the shower. I got in the one that has the little seats in it. And I was just feeling really faint. And I went to get out of the shower. I almost fell. I fell into the side of the shower and knocked a bunch of stuff down, which prompted my mom to come in. Thank gosh. I sat down on the toilet, and from there I was feeling terrible. I was really nauseous, dizzy, just faint. And she went to help me stand up, and my vision just went black. And it kind of faded in and then faded out. So rightfully so, excuse me, we thought that I was dehydrated. Those are most of the signs for when you're severely dehydrated. So they kept me up, my mom and stepdad, and made sure I was drinking. Every other minute I'd have, you know, a little medicine cup full of water. I kind of felt a little better. I went to bed. Well, the next morning would be last Monday. I needed to go get my blood levels checked for the Coumadin. I got up and immediately felt the same way. I walked to the bathroom. A little TMI, but I went poop a little bit, and it was black, just the blackest black you can even think of. And I started dry heaving bad. I was calling and calling and calling for somebody, but when you're feeling that way, you're not very loud. You don't have the strength. Luckily, my sister walked by, and I called her, and she went and got my mom, and my mom came in and was very upset, as she should be, you know. And I mean, not upset at me for feeling that way, but upset at the situation that I was facing. So we got in the car which took forever. I kept having to stop and sit down and try to breathe, because every time I moved, got up and walked, I'd get so dizzy and I'd start hyperventilating, and it didn't matter how much I focused on my breathing. So we were on our way to go to the emergency room where I had my surgery done, which is about a 2-hour drive. I called the advice nurse. I told her how I was feeling. I was feeling even more faint at that point. She said, you need to go to the nearest ER. We think you're going into shock. I said, okay. I said, well, I'm about 20 minutes from the nearest ER. And I told her which one it was. I get there. My mom gets me a wheelchair, and we go, and we're in line. Oh, that's the other thing. I had been shaking really bad as well every time I got up. But I was in the wheelchair, and I don't know, I just felt so bad. And I leaned forward, and I kind of grabbed my head, and I started shaking. So just, it was bad. I was shaking so bad. I knew I was going to pass out. I couldn't calm my breathing down. My body was going tingly, numb. So my mom told him, well, she has a PE, pulmonary embolism, and this is what's going on. They immediately took me back. They tried to hook me up to do an EKG, which they were able to do. My blood pressure, I guess, was 150 something over whatever. And I started passing out when he was like running with me in the wheelchair to get me to a room to the doctors. I passed out. I came to as they were getting me onto the bed, so I wasn't out for but a couple seconds. They got everything, they got me hooked up, whatever they're doing. I started feeling a little better because I was laying down. And that's when I said and realized, when I'm laying down, I'm okay. If I sit up, stand up, do anything other than laying down, I feel this way. The doctor came in, kind of invaded my privacy, because we had told him my poop was black, so he had to go up in there. It was blood. I'm pooping blood. And it took them like 4 tries to get a vein. Took blood. Well, my hemoglobin level, I know I'm saying that wrong, but my blood levels was at 8.2, which is very low. So they did tests, did all that, and they're like, we need to get you admitted. I said, okay. So they had to transport me to where I had my surgery, because my insurance plan, they're really weird. So I get there, and I was feeling pretty bad again. They took my blood again, and then I had to poop. So they got me a bedside commode, which, by the way, I hate, but not as much as a bedpan. Anyway, so I go, and of course, black, but this time there's red blood with it, kind of a lot, and I'm freaking out, like, what's going on? The doctors came in, my blood level dropped down to a 2 bags of blood. Doctor came in and you could tell he was really nervous, sad that he had to tell me what was going on, because it was kind of before I had said yes to any kind of treatment. He said basically my life depended on it. Get a blood transfusion and deal with the risks, or not. So I got the blood transfusion that night. The following morning, I had an endoscopy done where they found an ulcer at one of my surgical sites where I was bleeding through. I kind of felt that maybe there was another spot that I was bleeding from, but they didn't check. They just kind of saw that and I guess went with it. So about a day or two later, they came in and said, here's your options. We can put you back on Coumadin because you have that blood clot. And we got to try to get rid of it. But if we put you on Coumadin, you're more likely to bleed out again. And basically, I'm going to keep doing this circle of bleeding internally, having to get a blood transfusion, being hospitalized. Other decision was an IVC filter, which they put into the main artery or vein for your lungs, and it basically acts as an umbrella and catches any blood clots that may form, because I'm at a really high risk for, having more blood clots coming from my legs and pelvic area. So it's supposed to stop that. And then that means I have to wait with the blood clot I already have and just hope it stays there. So we asked several different doctors, and they all said that they would go for the IVC filter because I'd only have it for 2 to 4 weeks, until they feel that the ulcer has healed enough for me to go back on Coumadin. So I got that